Today on Slough School.
So last lesson on Slough School for the Riparian Zone, we learned what the Riparian Zone is. It is the land by the water. We also learned about 3 different types of plants: herbs, shrubs, and trees. And we went on to learn scientific names for the different parts of a plant: our petals, our flowers, our leaves, our stems, and roots. And we talked lightly about erosion and why it's really, really important to plant plants in the riparian zone. But today, we're going to draw the riparian zone. So the first thing I want you to do is take a piece of paper like this, and I would like you to draw a big river in the middle, because it is the land by the water. So I'm just going to lightly shade this in for you all. Okay, so we have our river. And then I would like to make sure that you draw the 3 different plant types. So remember what those are. We have our flowers. We have our bushes, or our shrubs in scientific terms. And you'll want to make sure to draw berries on your shrub. This is important for later. And then you'll want to make sure to draw a tree or some trees, because these are the plants that live in the riparian zone. Boop, boop, boop. And we're just going to Bob Ross this. We're going to do happy little trees. No pressure if you're not a good artist. We're just going to enjoy drawing some nature and learning about the riparian zone today. So now that you've drawn all of these things, I would like you to start drawing animals that live in the riparian zone, things that you might think are important, or animals that are important that you can find locally, more importantly. So you can pause the video right here and continue to draw your riparian zone with animals you might find in it locally. I'll wait for ya. Do 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 do. Okay, welcome back. I hope your riparian zone drawings are really good. This is mine that I did earlier. I'm gonna use it. For me, it was super, super important. I included bees and butterflies because they really like flowers. I drew a little deer because the deer is eating the berries off the bushes. There's a little bat and a bird that uses the tree for shelter. Also, there's a little beaver. And then we have turtles, we have some algae, we have a salamander, we have some ducks, we have some fish, an otter, and some mussels. So this is what I think of when I think of the riparian zone. And I want to talk about some words, or some extra vocabulary words I would like you to write down. So I want you to write down the word native, non-native, and then over here, maybe invasive. So native animals or plants. We're just going to be talking about them in regards to animals and plants. So native means they've been here forever. Non-native, they were brought in the past 200 years. And they're not originally from here. And then invasive species are species that like to spread and don't share resources. And resources are sunlight, space, and water, to name a few. So if you can write down all of these vocabulary words, I'm going to highlight them for you, or I'll box them. Any of the words that I've been boxing are super important for you to write down. Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit why this matters, why it's important that we have flowers and we have shrubs and we have trees in our riparian zone. So there's a word, it's called biodiversity. And biodiversity is basically having a lot of different animals and plants in one area. So this is really important because if you think of these bushes, if these were blackberry bushes, if this area was only blackberry bushes, do you think that our salamander could live here? Or do you think that our beaver, who needs trees, could live here? No, so it's really important to have a bunch of different types of things, like our flowers, our shrubs, and our trees, so a lot of different animals can use them. And if it was all shrubs, could bats live here? Could birds live here? So it's just good to think about that as we're going through this lesson, and that's why it's so important to plant a bunch of different types of things, so all these animals can find their food, their water, and their shelter in this land by the water.